you're breathing wrong. Most people don't like hearing that. It sounds too simple, too obvious, too basic to matter. But here's the truth. The thing you do 20,000 times a day might be the very thing holding you back. Your focus, anxiety, creativity, sleep, moods, confidence. They're all being quietly shaped by something you barely ever notice. Your breath. If that sounds unbelievable, stay with me. Because by the end of this story, you'll see exactly why the smallest, quietest habit in your life might become your biggest breakthrough. It was a Tuesday. Not a dramatic Tuesday. Not a catastrophe-filled Tuesday. Just a normal one. Which is what made it so strange. You woke up with a pressure in your chest. Not pain, just heaviness. A sense of being mentally full, like your thoughts were all elbowing each other for space. School felt louder. People felt faster. Even the air felt thinner. You didn't know why or what changed. But you knew something was off. It felt like your brain was cluttered, yet you'd barely done anything. Maybe you've had a day like that, where even the simplest tasks feel heavier than they should. And that's when you heard it. Not from a teacher, a podcast, or a therapist, but from a stranger in a video. If your mind feels chaotic, check your breathing. It's usually the root, not the result. You almost scrolled past. Breathing? Really? The thing you've been doing since birth? But you didn't scroll. Something made you stay. And that's when everything changed. The video guy said something that stuck with you. Your breath is the remote control for your nervous system. You didn't fully understand it yet, but the idea lingered. That night, lying in bed, you tried the simple thing he mentioned. One slow breath. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Like you were gently fogging a mirror. One breath. Simple. But something shifted. Not a miracle. Not fireworks. But a tiny, almost microscopic release in the mind. The same way a knotted earbud cord loosens after one patient tug. You took another breath. Then another. And after maybe 7 or 8, you notice something. Your thoughts slowed down. Your chest softened. Your brain felt quieter. Not empty. Not silent. Just settled. You didn't know it then, but this was your first real experience with conscious breath, the art of actually noticing, guiding, and using your breath instead of merely doing it. And in that moment, you realized something shocking. Breathing wasn't automatic. It was powerful, influential, and you had never learned how to use it. Here's what you weren't taught in class. When your breathing is shallow and fast, your body switches into survival mode, even when nothing dangerous is happening. Your heart speeds up, muscles tighten. Your mind searches for threats that don't exist. It's not because you're weak or you're stressed for no reason. It's because your breath is sending a silent signal to your nervous system. We're not safe. But when you breathe slowly, deeply, intentionally, you flip the switch in the opposite direction. You tell your brain, we're okay. Lower the alarms. Return to clarity. This is why conscious breathing works. Not because it's mystical, but because it's mechanical. A built-in system. A biological design. A hidden tool you were born with. But no one showed you where the on switch was. Until now. So you started an experiment. Not a dramatic life overhaul. Not a strict routine. Just one simple rule. Notice your breath 3 times a day. That's it. Just notice. Morning, midday, night. At first, you forgot sometimes. Then, you remembered. Then, you noticed patterns. You held your breath when anxious. You breathed fast when overwhelmed. You breathed shallow when distracted. You breathed inconsistently when tired. And suddenly, you saw the connection. Your breath wasn't reacting to your life. Your life was reacting to your breath. Once you saw it, you couldn't unsee it. Whenever you slowed your breath, your thoughts followed. Whenever you deepened your breath, your focus sharpened. Whenever you controlled your breath, your emotions softened. And that's when the real shift happened. One afternoon, something stressful happened. Not catastrophic. Just something that would normally derail your entire day. But instead of panicking, spiraling, or mentally shutting down, you did the one thing you trained yourself to do. You paused. You closed your eyes for 2 seconds. And you breathed slowly, consciously, intentionally. A simple inhale. A slow exhale. Your heart rate lowered. Your thoughts steadied. Your mind cleared just enough to think. And without even realizing it, you broke a pattern you had lived with for years. You didn't fight your stress, run from it, nor drown in it. You regulated it, using the one tool that had been with you the entire time. In that moment, you understood something wisdom keepers, athletes, monks, and performers have known for centuries. Master your breath, and you master your state. Not your life, not the world, not other people, but your state, your clarity, your calm, your composure, your groundedness. That's the real unseen power. Over time, people began to notice changes in you. You didn't snap as quickly, freeze as often, spiral as deeply, nor crumble under pressure. You were calm without being passive, focused without being rigid, present without being disengaged. People thought you were becoming more disciplined, or more mature, or more resilient. But you knew the truth. You were becoming more regulated. And it all started with one thing. The smallest, quietest, most underestimated habit in the world. Conscious breathing. Here's the part most people never learn. Your breath is the only system in your body that works both automatically and intentionally, which means it's the only bridge between your body and your mind. And bridges change everything. Your breath can guide your emotions, calm your nervous system, sharpen your focus, reset your stress levels, and turn chaos into clarity. And the best part? It costs nothing. It's available anywhere, and no one can take it from you. It's the one tool you carry in every room, every challenge, every season of your life. A built-in anchor, a quiet superpower, a hidden technology humans have ignored for generations. You didn't turn conscious breathing into a strict routine. You turned it into a reflex, a way of living. You breathe before answering difficult questions. You breathe before stressful conversations. You breathe before making decisions. You breathe before stepping into unfamiliar places. You breathe when your mind feels crowded. You breathe when life feels heavy. Not perfectly, not always, not dramatically, just consistently. And over time, this small habit built a new version of you. More grounded, more aware, more resilient, more present. You didn't become someone else. You became more yourself, minus the noise. Here's the ironic thing about conscious breathing. It feels like a new discovery, but it's actually a return to something your body always knew, to the rhythm your mind always needed, to the version of you that isn't drowning in noise. Breathing won't solve every problem, but it gives you the clarity to face them, the composure to navigate them, the groundedness to survive them, and the presence to learn from them. Your breath is not a trick, hack, or trend. It's a superpower, one that's been hiding in plain sight, quietly waiting for you to notice. So the next time your world feels too loud, remember this. You don't need to control everything, just your breath. The rest will follow.